welcome to the final game of Week 11 of the HPL here on Carentan. We have none other than STURM Elite versus BST2 501 ES here. Apologies for the late start. I had a technical difficulty had to fix really quick while we were getting ready. But before we start this game, let's check out the two teams and where they sit in the table right now. So, of course, this game is coming to you from the Americas division with STURM Elite and BST2 there. BST2 is doing really well, actually in first place right now, with STURM Elite bringing up fourth place in the table. However, STURM Elite's not out of this at all. 20th PZG, now they are on 5 points now because earlier on the weekend, they did get a forfeit off of HL Tango and a victory. Of course, that only gives 1 point. So with 5 points now, with a 5-0 here, I'm not too sure if that's going to happen. STURM Elite could leapfrog 20th PZG Exodus, but if they can limit the damage, maybe even go up 3-2 and try to hold on, they could come all that much closer to being able to secure a playoff spot for them. We'll see if they're able to do it, though. If you want to take a look at the map really quick, hopefully, fingers crossed here, we get a train station fight. I'd love to see some of that south part of the map. So far, we've seen 2 canal crossings back to back. We did see a town center, however, unfortunately for us, that fight was negated in the fact that we had to reflip the map again because there was just some kind of issue, so we double flipped it. But I'm hoping for like a train or a town center. We've seen town center week 3. I'd love to see a train station fight today. I'd love to see Mount Halay, Farm Runes, derailed train. That south part of the map is just crazy for tanks, so hopefully we can see something there. That'll let the tankers kind of flex their muscles. We've seen a little bit of tanks this weekend, not too much, really, with canal crossing, pumping station, those kinds of points, customs, canal locks. The tanks, it's hard to maneuver through the cities there, and when they do get brought out, it seems like they get taken out pretty quickly, being able to be isolated in those long corridors on the streets and whatnot. So we'll see for the points we get. We're about 2 minutes away from kickoff here, or shoot off, roll off. I don't know. We got to think of a good little keyword for that. But 2 minutes away from the start of this one, and yeah, BST2's coming off strong. They did lose versus the Line. However, they did play well in that game. The Line just outclassing them a little bit in that one. This should be an easier match for them. However, don't discount SEVH. I mean, we've seen it off the top. It's all to play for after it goes 3-2, and on a map like Carentan, good strategies can do very well. I mean, we saw 116 take the midpoint off a core before ending up dropping that one and losing it 5-0. So it's definitely, the first point is up to how you execute your planning. First of all, how well you plan, obviously, but then how you execute on that planning. If your people who are driving your trucks can hit those markers fast, if they find some kind of new route, or they hit their route perfectly and beat the other team to point. Like, there's so many different factors. Artillery, lucky arty shot kills a whole truck, and there goes a whole squad, and you're taking that point, as we saw from PKKA versus the 5 a few weeks ago on Purple Heart Lane. So yeah, I mean, it's anybody's game off the start. It's going to be a lot harder, I think. Town center, I think, is the most favorable point here for SEVH. If we get like a train station or a canal, I think that might lean to an advantage towards BST2 501. Los malditos bastardos. Yeah, and they have good tanks too. So something we have to consider, like if it's train station Mount Halay derailed, or even just the midpoint train station south, and there's a lot of play on the south side. I mean, BST2 501 has some very good tankers on their team. Week 1 Hurricane Forest, they showed up and were doing some damage to TL's tanks. We saw that there was some tank battles going back and forth there, and they were going towards both sides. So SEVH, we've seen a little bit of their tanks. We've seen some interesting plays, especially from their recon too. Like I remember on Foy, we saw a recon Vic challenging a what was it? They were challenging a 76 head-on. That did not go so well for the recon tank. However, you have to remember also on Foy, STURM Elite did take that match 3-2. Now, albeit that midpoint that we got on Foy was a little more advantageous to STURM Elite taking the mid. but still they executed their plan, and they held it for a good portion of the map. Unfortunately, losing it and end up getting 5-0'd by the 5 that game. But hey, man, it's all to play for once the game gets going, and especially if STURM Elite can take that crucial midpoint, I think we're going to be in for a game here. It is about 2:01. So we should be starting any second here. I'm just going to check for the refs to make sure the refs are in. Don't have a ref on this team. Don't have a ref on either team. Interesting. Anywho, all right, so we're just waiting right now for the map to flip. Yeah, what do you guys think? Write in the chat what kind of expectations you guys have for this game. Who do you think is going to win it? Who are you cheering for? And we'll find out really soon once this game kicks off. For me, I think the keys for going to be STURM Elite to take this are going to be momentum off the get-go. And can they get on a roll? Can they do something to put BST2 501 on their back feet? You know, because BST2 501, I think we've touched on this before. They play a really melodic, they have a nice rhythm and melody to their game, and it's slow. They don't rush. They don't play fast like core. They play slow. They take objectives. They reinforce their positions. They take out any enemy spawns. They clear the area, and then they push to the next point. So what can STURM Elite do against this? Do they have any play or plan? I remember last time these two teams played, we did see that methodical approach, and we did see some decent gameplay from STURM Elite. However, the way that BST2 pushes across the map really wiped out the defensive line that STURM Elite had, and there was no like counterplay to that. I'd like to see some things like airheads be used more, like a combo airhead bombing run, maybe with a recon vehicle and a recon element to guard the airhead, because we've seen a few times here in the league airheads just dropping on their own. Now, I know airheads can be used as a bait, like you bait guys off and you go from the other side, but I'd love to see an airhead protected by a recon or a squad or a vehicle, or even squad leaders that are behind the lines, you know? Ba-da-ba-ba-bum. Just gonna ping a mod there, a ref there to get ready to flip this one, because we are ready to go here, both teams. Yeah, so recon, I'd love to see that. The airhead use, we covered that. What else? Artillery, STURM Elite's artillery is crazy good. They have really good artillery. I remember the Purple Heart lane against Tango. Both teams had unlimited use of RD, and I'm pretty sure there was some guys with 200 kills on at least on STURM Elite's side. So artillery is going to play a big part. You know, every point here is accessible to artillery. There's nothing that's like crazy hard to hit. Town center is a little harder because you can hit the roofs, but if you're accurate with your RD, it can be deadly, especially in the strong point of town center. Train station wide open again. There are some buildings there, but not enough to make a difference. If your RD's on point and you have good reconnaissance, you're gonna be hitting targets. Same thing with Canal Crossing. Canal's a little different though, because there's the north and there's the south side. It's kind of like a double point in one, right? The north side is completely separated from the south, and we saw this core yesterday did this really nicely. They had a two-pronged attack on the north and the south, and they made progress on both sides and were able to kind of collapse like an alligator closing his jaw on Canal. Even though 116th, credit where credit's due, they had a beautiful setup defensively. A lot of the buildings, if you look to the north of the map here, just on their screen at Canal, a lot of those red, so the reds are the streets, the yellows are the little alleyways. But there was barbed wire, there were machine gunners, 1 or 2 guys per each one. But Core just chose, you know, they did a bombing run, they attacked from the north, they put pressure with a tank on the left side of Canal, and then they pushed up from the south at the same time and were able to kind of take the south, while consequently at the same time on the north side, 1 infantry squad was able to sneak just across the north of the map, get established on the buildings on the north side, and then come down from the top, and that's what won them that. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, recon vehicles here from STURM Elite, some things they could do is pull not just the recon but the Lux, pull that in and get that on the north side of Canal, because that is very effective at suppressing infantry pushes, especially with the HE cannons. You can just neutralize any kind of infantry that's going to be pushing. And it's a huge advantage and obviously something like a tank would be needed to be dealt with that Lux. But if the Lux is in the back, and he just finds a nice angle onto some of the peak hedges that are there on the north side of Canal, you could just easily hold it down. Town Center, again, we saw week 3, 116th with core, 116th by the church on the north side of Town Center, and a core Puma just obliterated a whole squad. That essentially sealed the deal for core on midpoint there. So things that are fast like Pumas are really, really viable to give a quick punch onto Town Center, to get that advantage on the strong point. Train station we actually haven't seen yet at all in the league. Like not one match. I think we've had 8 or so or 9 matches on this map, and not one of them was train. I'm trying to think. I think maybe one was. So maybe one out of the 8 or 9 was train. And I believe that might have been SEVH and BST2 if my memory serves me correct last time. Because I do remember SEVH having a really nice defensive line. Of course, this time the teams are flipped, so they're going to be playing on the opposite side they did last time we played on this map. But I'd love to see Train in Mount Halei too. I think that would be a big advantage for BST2 501. So maybe SEVH is hoping maybe for Town Center or Canal. But just that open tank gameplay is really nice. Mount Halei is just a beautiful point. It's really, really actually really hard for the Axis side to take back if they lose it, if they go down. Something we did see though in squad line battles 2 weeks ago. You can go see the VOD on my YouTube. It was a beautiful play. One of the members of the 5, Falco, I called him Flank by accident, snuck in onto Mount Halei, taking out a garrison, enabling a new garrison was placed by the defenders. However, immediately as that first spawn wave came onto the garrison, a bombing run came and wiped them out. So you need some pretty spectacular plays to take Mount Halei, especially if you're on the defensive side and you've just gone down 1-4. You're trying to take back your second point there. Things like Rail Causeway, Canal, for the Axis side, it's a lot easier. Like I'd be a lot more comfortable with Rail, especially Canal even, just because you have that water gap there. It's a natural barrier. You know, there's less crossings to deal with. You know, airheads, and you can much easier clean up and kind of fortify those positions, especially if it's like a customs. Some things we didn't see PKK doing yesterday, actually, but especially like customs there. It's so easy, I'd say, to defend. There's not too many ways through. There's the land bridge, yes, but most of the ways to customs you can block off with machine guns and then keep like maybe a Lux or a medium in reserve and just cover that open space. One thing I'd love to see from BST2 also is more airhead play. I want to see some more plays with the airhead. We saw them. We've seen them a few times. They're not effectively rotating their squads, and what I mean by that is, you'll see the top teams like Core have a bunch of squad leaders. One guy in the squad, he'll go get an outpost down, and then the squad will be rotated into essentially people filling in the rest of the slots there, the 5 slots extra, to then use that outpost to spawn in, and then rotations will come until that team is good to go on that point. So what we saw, and I'm trying to think exactly what map it was on. I'm thinking maybe SMDM, possibly. Anyways, on the backside of the point, there was a squad lead from BST2, and I counted at least 10 to 11 minutes with an outpost up behind the active attacking point with nobody rotating or spawning in. So like that, you got to fix that. If you're BST2, if you have outposts up, you need to have rotations up. You need to have that communication there with the squad lead and command to get those squads rotated into. Because if you have an outpost up for 12 minutes on the backside of an active attacking objective and you don't rotate people into that, if you do that against teams like the line, like Core, like 116th, like 38th, the 5 even, it's not going to work. You need that pressure. Those teams are going to hammer you on the defensive line, so you need to have that attacking pressure on them to keep them honest, to keep them defending, to draw those redeploys onto the defensive points. And if you don't do that, that's just, kind of a nail in the coffin. So I'm excited to see if they've maybe worked on that a little bit, watched some tape from the previous games and improved in that aspect, and kind of start to employ some of these meta strats that some of the most successful teams in the league have been using so far. And we'll see also if SEVH has too. I mean, early on in the league, teams like, I'll use this reference again, 38th, it's a complete opposite team from when they started the league. They're employing new strategies. they're playing faster. They're getting set up quicker, doing things that are reminiscent of a core we would see from a team that was, you know, not winning many of their initial games. They've completely turned it around. So teams like SEVH, Tango, PKKA, they have all the ability to employ some of those strategies too and turn those games around for them. It is now 2-11. Okay. Looks like the teams are finally about ready to go. Just being reminded that a forfeit is actually 4-1, so that means let's pull up the table here. So that means that 20th PZG is now on 2 points over, so they're at 6 now. So to tie them, STURM Elite would have to 5-0 BST2 501 ES. I would love to see that happen. That would be a hell of a game. I would probably be losing my voice by the end of it if that was the case. But yeah, so STURM Elite has to 5-0 here. And honestly, if they don't 5-0, if they do drop this game, they're not out of the picture for the playoffs by any means necessary. Even HL Tango, who had to forfeit yesterday, I mean, 1 or 2 wins at 4-1 or 5-0, and they're right back in the hunt for this one with 20th Exodus only on 6 points. So yeah, and then looking at the European division also, so we had Core win again, so 116th has no more points from that. The 5 have a bye, and 38th won their game 5-0. So 38th is actually on 10 points right now, which is nice to see. We'll see next week what they got. I remember last week also 38th did beat the 5-3-2, so they stole a point off of them. But even there in Europe, I mean, PKKA still has the ability. They're mathematically still in it. We've seen their attacking squad go for a cap race versus 116th and Hurricane last week and almost go up 3-2. It's just those little things on the defense that they need to square away. And on the attack too, what we saw was they didn't get the garrison on the defensive point. So they need, like, if they do kind of an airhead play, you have to send some guys out there looking for that Gary on the defensive point, so you can secure the point for yourselves. But really getting really close, lots of improvement from these teams. And it's going to be really crunch time in the European division to see if the 5 can hold off the challenge from 38 and what they have. Of course, Core is going to be having those games with those teams again, so that's going to be really hard games mixed in there. 116th is going to be in there too. So, you know, the last playoff spot is up for grabs still in Europe and in North America. Now, the Line and Malditos Bastardos have 501, excuse me, their combo team, have more or less run away with the North American. There's a much bigger gap there between the rest of the teams down there, like 20th Exodus and STURM Elite and Tango. However, that 3rd spot in the playoffs is mega, and it's anybody's for the taking right now, even HL Tango. So we'll see tonight what STURM Elite can do, and if Malditos Bastardos can grow their lead from what it is now. And the Line, unfortunately for the Line, they've played really well against 501 BST2. However, winning both times. However, just their other games, they haven't been as clean, dropping some caps and dropping some points, especially against teams like Core when we did the interdivision week when the Line played Core. They did make a nice play there, and if you want to go, you can see the highlights. Off the bat, a luck shot straight into the spawn, killing, I think, 2 transport trucks and a supply truck, which allowed the Line to go 3-2 up on that one. That was on Foy. Just some careless errors on the side of the Line. They left the whole northern flank open, allowed a squad to crawl on their hands and knees for 10 minutes, set up an OP on point. At the same time, they allowed their flank to get run over, and shooters to get in and just pick people off as they ran back to the midpoint there. And their biggest mistake, I think, on that Foy match versus Core was instead of respawning and resetting their attack or their counter attack, they respawned on their Garys near the point and tried to push through an open field. And that let Core get set up on the next point, take half of the town of Foy, And by the time Core was set up on point there and had their heels dug in, there was no removing them with Core going up 5-0. But the Lions on a bye week this week. We'll see what they got next week. Um, Definitely, they're probably hoping that they can get that number one seed from the Americans division too. And also, I mean, Malditos Bastardos, Division 501 ES, they're a European team, so it's kind of about bragging rights here if a European team wins both divisions, right? I mean, it would be nice for an NA team to win it. I mean, teams like Exodus 20th, I mean, they're looking real good. Kind of like 38th from the European division, they're taking a lot of what they've learned and improving it. They're minimizing their mistakes, and they're changing the way they play in different areas to suit the game a little better. And we saw the building blocks of their game early on in the season. They just weren't executing well, and I think they've found that rhythm now. So they're going to be somebody to look out for on the backside of this going into the playoffs. Definitely might be. I could see them taking games off of teams like 116th, maybe even the Line. That might be a stretch, but they're looking very dangerous. So uh, let's see here. We got a flip coming in. Looks like there was a big crash. I'm not too sure if that's going to be the flip for the game start. Or we're going to reflip because there was a crash. So stay tuned. We'll find that info out for you and get back to you as soon as we can. I mean, it's also 17 minutes after the hour. Again, apologies. Next week we're gonna fix this issues that we've been having here. Even myself, I've had some issues. My mic stand completely busted on me, and I've been spending the last 20-30 minutes trying to jerry rig a mic stand to work here so that the broadcast could go ahead. Yeah, it looks like there's a double flip. We did get some crashes into on the flip there for the start, so we're gonna double flip it and come back in. One of the things I'd love if I had a Christmas wish list for Hella Loose is the ability to pause, like an admin pause and warm up, just so we could start the match. Teams would know the points. We could then pause the match, get everyone in, make sure everyone's good to go, and then start the match. So it starts from a pause state instead of from a flip state, because what you do get with the flip sometimes is a crash, and that just makes it so you have to flip it twice more, right? So that would be something on my wish list here. It's ironic because on this we did get train station Mount Halais, Maison Dorms, derailed train in 502nd start, so the full south layer. However, I don't believe we're going to be starting this one as there was indications of a flip coming in. I don't think the refs are actually in game for this though. I think today the refs are out of game. Anywho, we'll just wait on that one and then see if we can't fill this up. Going back into the match here. Let's take back a look back at the map here. Yeah, so southern layout. I guess that fully wasn't. Farm Ruins is the true southern layout, but close enough. Yeah, tanks. That would have been a huge advantage to BST2. Tanks would be huge. What do you guys think in the chat here? Let me open up the chat, see what you guys are saying. Boot up the chat. Apologies again for the delay. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Sometimes there just are some technical issues that need to be worked out, and especially if both teams crash, it's not an advantage. It's an advantage to one or the other team, especially if you just start the game like that and don't allow for the teams to come back in. But anyways, as we come back down to the conclusion of this league, I mean the prize money is up for stakes here. Uh, some of these teams gotta figure that they have a good chance. I mean, to win it, you gotta dethrone teams like TL, Core, 116th. That's gonna be a tough task, but I mean, it can be done. If you can catch some of these teams on their heels, playing strategy can be enough to win the game. We saw that strategy win last week at Hurricane, where 38 to 1 on strategy. They were getting outkilled 2 to 1 in some instances, even higher than that. It was literally a play, a commander play, an outpost play. Some supplies dropped in. The commander prepped the next point, and they were bada bing, bada boom, 4-1. I think they could have gone 5-0 in that game if they had dropped airheads kind of put their foot their boot on the neck of the five there. They didn't do that. Ended up winning 3-2. But the possibilities there for the win in the game. Teams just have to learn those strats and employ them very well if they want to execute. Let us see here. Looks like both teams are back in, so we're gonna have a quick double flip before this one gets started again. And fingers are crossed for a town center or a train. It seems like some weird luck goes on, or some kind of crazy mojo or whatever when we get some of these maps, because it doesn't matter how many times you flip it, we end up with the same thing. Like a full week of just canal crossing is kind of lame. Not that I don't like the point, but it's just it's not what we want to see here. We want to see that variety. It'd even be cool, like if we could do something like choose the points almost, and play like an X across the map or straight down the middle. Choose every point before the match starts. That would be really nice. Wonder what you guys think of that. Why don't you leave a comment in the chat right now? As both teams having a little. SEVH is having a little trouble with their connection. Now they are coming from Brazil, and I believe we are playing. Yeah, both teams actually pings. I'm looking at the pings here. Both teams having about 150, 160 ping. So there's not really an advantage from ping from either side. I mean, BST2 is out of Spain, with SEVH out of Brazil. So, and I believe we're playing on Miami servers in Miami right now. So that is both teams really don't have an advantage in that. Um, I don't. I wonder what it's like to play a competitive match at 150, 160 ping. It can't be. I mean, it's equally bad for everyone in terms of latency, but it can't be pleasant for either team there. I must imagine. Be awesome if we could in the future just have that latency relieved. I mean, we're so technology's so advanced these days with fiber and whatnot, but it's still like if we could have a no or low latency around the globe, um, for these competitions, it would make it a lot easier in terms of hosting and fairness. Like right now, the HPL runs servers in Europe. I think three: Paris, Frankfurt, maybe two. Not sure, two or three. And then we have Miami, Chicago, and LA. I'm not sure if we're running the LA server in the HPL though, but we run like 5 or 6 servers for this league, and just to try and give everyone the most fair competition possible. Now, obviously, home and away, it's hard because there are European teams facing American teams, um, but we try to make it as fair as possible in terms of ping. We do extensive ping testing with the players to check and see what their ping is to the servers, so that when we do have especially competitive matches for prize winnings on the line, we're as fair and as transparent as possible for that. Looks like one of the mods has said he's just waiting for the okay from the Brazilian team, and then we're going to flip it again. And fingers crossed, there's no DCs this time, and this match can get underway. Apologies again, we're about half an hour late starting on this one. But no, it should be a good match, especially if we can get this town center. Um, we'll see how the teams approach this too, because town center is a tricky point. Like, do you go north to the church? Do you take the strong point buildings? So on the north side, you have the one building on the corner, and then on the west side, you also have 2 buildings staggered. The one that's bombed out building you can go inside, which is also a really nice place for OPs on point. But you don't want to fall into the trap of making outposts or garrisons in these buildings and then concentrating your whole defense in one building. We saw PKK make that mistake some weeks ago, and it was deadly for them. They ended up getting satcheled, losing everything, and I think SEVH, yeah. So they're on the wrong side. They've someone messed it up, I believe. Yeah. So everyone's having to switch teams. Oh man. Okay. So we'll see if that worked well. There's still BST2 members and SEVH members on either team. Looks like teams are finally getting organized on either side. All right. So there we go. Finally, teams got on the right side. I expected a double flip. They didn't double flip, so that left a bunch of these guys scrambling to try and get onto the right side for this match. Wow, what a start. Okay, so we have Town Center. So it's a south point. So Maison Domes, Halle, Derailed Train, Farm Ruins with Town Center. Ooh, this is going to be spicy. Finally getting into this match. Give us 2 minutes. We'll run the intro. And again, apologies for that little delay there, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is SEVH versus BST2 501ES.
Oh my god! Look at all the bodies! Oh my god! I can't work! Let's go! 38 score for a cap race!
Welcome live to Carentan, last match of week 11 in the HPL. We have a spicy one for you guys today. We got a full southern layer stack, and then we got Town Center. It's going to be good. They're going to combine the best open elevation change and field tank gameplay with the grind, the meat grind that is Town Center on this map. You can see, look at the amount of bodies being sent here from SEVH. I positioned on the north side because I expect them to rush the point, but they are going way north with their flank. We're going to have to get a little further back here. About 200, let's go 330 here, just so we can get a view of both teams coming into point. Here on the point, of course, Town Center being the point. Let's check in the map again, see what SEVH is doing on the rollout. They're sending everybody. They're throwing the kitchen sink at this. Everybody in a Lux is coming up here. Down the main road, we have a Panther and a Puma with a supply truck, and then we also have a supply truck starting the back areas here. You can see with homes. Nothing, crucially, nothing coming for this south control here. They're kind of throwing everything at this midpoint. Now, you got to do this sometimes as competitive teams. However, we are seeing BST2 make a very nice entrance here, and SEVH really doesn't have an answer for this. Not yet, at least. There's nobody at SEVH in the area to contest this midpoint. Nice rollout from BST2 501. You can see on the left side of your screen here, finally SEVH is getting the point. But I think this initial advantage is going right the way of BST2 501. As Artie is absolutely devastating both sides here. Advantage off the back goes to BFC2. However, a full squad of one member, Renam, the only one able to make it to point. Look at those orange bodies, though, is absolutely flooding into point here. BST2 501. Now Rodrigo might make it in to get an OP up. No, he doesn't. Ooh, does drop one though. However, we're already over 50% cap here from BST2 501. Rodrigo taking some hits here. He's gonna need to bandage. Love to see him get an OP up in this little garden to the left here. It's a nice advantageous position to fight from, but Rodrigo's gonna be in tough versus 2, 3, 1v3 here. Uh-oh, nade gonna come out from Sergio. Rodrigo's pushing. Drops one. 1v3. Rodrigo absolutely going off. He's gonna peek the corner here. Oh, and gets 3 kills. Rodrigo going ham. The 1v3 win there. And his team is turning the tide. SEVH is now decapping on point. Just by proximity. They still have an uphill battle here, but there is a Panther on point in the mid here, and a Lux pushing up with them. Really nice movement off the top here from SEVH. Rodrigo's gonna try to get a oh, he notices David. That's key. The key play here. Rodrigo can kill David, and he can. Wow, really good awareness there from Rodrigo. Absolute MVP of the STURM Elite team so far, and he's gonna get an OP down in a really nice spot, and his squad's gonna be able to spawn on point right with them. Panther in the mix here also, taking some shots. Not seeing any tanks for the allies yet. Panther is putting in a lot of work though, just not getting those crucial shots into the key buildings on the strong point. And just like that, SEVH has neutralized all cap progress. However, we'll have to watch out for the BST2 501 flank on the south side. Now it is spotted out with Captain Wook, Weekend, and Nuka Nuka down there defending in the south. No problem with them. Really is a grind fest slug match on point right now. Not one team taking the upper hand. Remember, STURM Elite is trying to get back into the hunt for the playoffs and that nice sweet cash prize. So they are playing their hearts out right now. With that being said, though, BST2 just has enough bodies inside cap right now that they're making that cap progress. And you can see a northern flank coming down here with a Sherman. Is that a 75? Yes, it is. Greyhound also coming in. Did that Greyhound take out the Panther? It may have, indeed. Really nice positioning here from the BST2 squad, but they're gonna have to go by and take out Rodrigo and company on that corner building. But good progress so far, about 60% on cap. Nice play from Bizarre there. This Sherman's gonna object to that though. Yeah. That was short-lived. And just like that, little flank on the north and south are all but eliminating presence for SEVH on point. Nice try by SEVH. They got overpowered and outflanked there on town center. Would love to see them reset here and try to get back together and get a defensive lineup for the next point. But that's going to be 3-2 towards the allies in the Spaniard team. BST2 501. Don't know if it's the best idea to stay up in the point here and try and push. I think a reset's in order, especially if we see any kind of movement on the next point, maybe from the attackers. We do have recon over here. Now, Portal AJ is the closest. Would have liked to see us set up a little sooner, because if we check the map here, there's really nobody here. There's a Gary, 2 guys, and a recon vehicle now. John Cena's going to be in a good spot to get some intel on this Gary positioning. He's probably going to like what he sees too. Honestly, if they can get an airhead up here, I think SEVH might be in a bit of trouble. John Cena trying to find a way through. It's just recon versus recon right now, with Patchlock spawning over on the Gary. Respawn does come in from the defensive squad. However, Patchlock and Moscat pretty much have free reign to the point. They're gonna know pretty quickly where this defensive garrison's placement is. Oh, John Cena does get spotted out and taken down though. Moscat TNT is in a nice spot though to put a follow-up spawn down for his team. We are having supplies drop into the middle point, also with artillery here. Tiger 1 coming in for SEVH2. Yeah, SEVH really keen on pushing back in here, but they're just getting surrounded. I mean, you can look, you don't need a lot of bodies to hold down these streets here. They're essentially just laying this. Ooh, nasty shot going into that building, taking out a bunch of members of SEVH. It's not, you need to reset. Go on a flank. I like this positioning on the south from Adderwolf, Langley and company. That's what you need to do. Get something on a flank and then come in behind when your enemy isn't prepared for it. Ooh, we're seeing an airhead come out. Okay. Is that going to be that is an attacking airhead. Ooh, don't know about that play. BST2 501. That's not going to trouble anyone. Are they trying to go for it behind the hedge here? I think that's what it is. As STURM Elite does drop an attacking bombing run. Yeah, it's going to come back here and drop. There's nothing happening off of this. They're going to try to use it as a diversion. I would have said if it was going to be used as a diversion, then just put it further back. Moscan is going to like try to defend this, but it's going to go down as soon as it goes up. John Cena has no chance. I mean, that was a wasted airhead in my opinion there. At least if they drop it in the middle of the field, then John Cena can snipe it. I mean, Moscant could throw a nade onto its position, get one, reveal his position in turn. But yeah, not going to be too effective there on point. 501 looking to reposition though themselves for an attack here. You can see kind of the weird way this map is split right now. SEVH, majority of their team in the middle, with the defending squad from 501 and BST2 on one side, and the attacking squad from 501 and BST2 on the other side, on the south side here. I mean, there's not many ways to get to this point. You know, one of them being these two, I'd say cover / concealment areas here. There's just so many open fields that if you get a few machine gunners or say 2 tanks, even a tank and a light tank, you can easily lock down the approach. I think the best bet for BST2 501 is to just drive a supply truck up to this flank here. Just drive it up. You can cover it with a tank. Drive it up and build a Gary right there. Ooh, already landing nasty. That Puma gonna check the backside of the hedge over here. Of course, you can sneak an outpost or a Gary down inbounds right behind this hedge here. It's always a fun time to do that. So he's just checking to make sure nobody's snuck behind him there. Endica's coming over here. Not a squad lead though. Does he have one in tow? Yes, new boars. Okay. Expect maybe some supplies or a logistics supply truck to come up and drop some supplies up here. Attacking bombing run comes down though from BST2 501. Gonna take out 1 or 2, not too many kills coming off from that one. Was in a good spot to defend, and if any members, I think it's a misplay here. Endica taking these shots, honestly, because he's just revealing his position. There's nothing to follow up though. No garrison, no outpost here from BST251. Remember what we said at the top though. They play very methodically. They take their time. They don't really overcommit into any point. They slow push it, make sure they're good on the defense before committing to an attack. You can see they're getting a defensive garrison up over here. So that's a lot of members of SEVH, a long way from home here. Would love to see those members used a little differently, maybe with an airhead or some kind of flanking maneuver. But these kind of long-winded flanks with the pincers don't work especially well. Usually the best flanking maneuvers you see, especially if they're going for a pincer attacker, are fairly close to the point and run fairly quickly. With some kind of shock value like a bombing run to weaken one flank. Although looks like AT did take out that Puma over here. Conrad putting the noob tube or the tube to good use. Sorry for calling it a new tube, comrade. Probably wasn't an easy shot. Taking out that Puma. Don't see the hull of him. So he was instantly deleted. And really for free here, BST2 501 ES is being allowed to take the point. Not too sure what SEVH was thinking on the defense here. They need some more bodies. They're a little too compact also. You can see like they didn't take the hedgerow on the right side of your screen, and one by one they're just going to drop here to Conrad and Riddix. Both coming in to assist on this cap. Conrad is also pretty near to this garrison here. I mean, this could be the point right here, and I think it is. Kingdom has no idea what's going on. Riddix is on Gary. Kingdom, you need to get your gun out. Oh, he doesn't take him out in time though, and he doesn't kill Riddix. Wow, Riddix really taking that for free there. The smoke aiding greatly. And SEVH is in a real rough spot here. They're about to go down 4-1. Honestly though, I'm not sure why 501 is taking this so slow. They need to push hard right now and really capitalize on this opening that they've given themselves. 76 pushing up to point. Okay, we got that armor. Where's the supply truck though with the garrison? Would expect some supplies at least to drop in. Or even if they save that airhead and use that right now, I mean, they could easily drop an airhead behind this attack from this tank and take this point, or at least start taking this point. Nice little shot behind the 76 here. Gonna be doing some work, taking out a few bodies from the Brazilian team. I heard someone in the chat say tanks aren't important in Carentan. I disagree thoroughly, especially if you have this southern layer. Tanks are huge, and if they take, they being BST2 501, the allies, if they take this point, 76 is a free shot onto Maison Dorms. It's very, very OP to have a tank looking down from this hill here. Not over yet though. SEVH fighting tooth and nail to try to hold on to their defensive point here. Check the map really quick to see what they have up. They do have a back garrison up and an outpost on the back side of the house here. But they're really in the rough right now. No garrison on point. Reinforced going down to stop this cap desperately. But there just isn't the bodies here from SEVH to make it happen. They need to mass redeploy. Maybe using a defensive airhead here. See Berlin here. What? They're on top of each other. There we go, Berlin. Good kill there. 76 and his hull gunner though putting in work. I mean, it's just devastating. There's got to be a response here from SEVH armor. Can see a Puma coming up on the flank. Let's see what that Puma's got on him. He could flank this 76 here and maybe get a few shots in. So I think he'll get spotted out pretty fast. Ooh, big hit coming in on the tank there. I think that might have been Artie. Regardless, this Puma's doing on a good flank right now. Really needs to take out this this Sherman. One shot hits. Sherman's rotating. Not fast enough though. Second shot ricochets, it looks like. Uh-oh, Puma's in trouble now. Uh-oh. And just like that, the Sherman goes down. Wow. Another Artie landing. Hitting that Sherman. Puma also goes down, but he does his job. Really nice play there from SEVH. Sacrificing the recon Vic. Able to take the 76 off point. The fight isn't over though. There's still an outpost right here from the Spanish team, the allied team, doing everything they can to try to stay in this point and on this one. Reinforce probably has worn out by now. Yeah, Reinforce is down. There are garrison markers out from SEVH. Garrison defensive is also back up. Though this one squad is proven to be very difficult to push off point here from SEVH. They have the numbers, probably 2, 3 to 1. They need to just use them and use their smokes, use their nades, push in and clear this attack out so they can reset on their defense and get ready to maybe go on an attack of their own. I'd love to see them try their hand at attacking here. Rodrigo looks like he's going to be the catalyst for this as he's making a nice little flank here. Gonna get a peek onto Newbors. Scuffs his first shot, lands his second. Nice kill there. He needs to go for that OP though, as a full spawn wave comes in and Rodrigo's gonna get spotted out and engaged. Unfortunately there, looks like via Thompson, so Rodrigo does survive to fight another day. Now, does he have a nade? Nade here would be huge. Nade into that trench would just obliterate anybody on that OP. Rodrigo's gonna get a peek on the backside, drops one, and he dropped two. Drops two. Nice shot. Endika's the last one, but Endika knows now. Scuffs his shot and goes down. Oh no, Rodrigo so close to taking out the third one, maybe being able to push this outpost. However, it finally does get spotted out, and Volga's pushing, Julius is pushing, Endika's gonna get taken out. Ooh, big spawn wave coming in though. They don't know about Lucius. What is he doing? What is he doing? What was going on, Lucius? In his brain, he could have pulled his weapon out, his melee out. He was frozen. He didn't know what to do. 2 members left alive. Outpost is down, though. There's going to be no respawn. However, Commander himself, Fortis leader's on the back, ready to save the day. Garrison is up also. So this is going to be a slight reprieve here. Only a brief one, especially with Fortis leader here leading the charge. Going to be tossing some nades, some smoke, probably. Trying to get that smoke out. Let's go on board with him, see what he's got here. Damn, Conrad and Score still alive. No outpost to speak of, but that doesn't matter for them. We're just gonna chill here for a second, maybe calling something else on the map. And just like that, I mean, SEVH, I think they might have a garrison or an airhead back here. Let's see. You see big spawn wave coming in. Possibly. We'll see if the spawn wave does come in. That's an airhead. Nothing as of yet. Just a solo squad lead. Hellfish does go down too. Yeah, I'm surprised BST2 doesn't respawn everybody and spawn them on this Gary here. Like Bellerfonte, Dark, Riddix, Blackburn. Why are they fighting in the middle of point here? They have a garrison on the left, and they have people on point. Like Garrison's up right here. An instant respawn, and all these bodies are off the middle of the map and in point. If I'm commander, I'm screaming at my squad leads. It's respawn, doesn't matter. Just give up, respawn, get on point. It's faster than trying to run through half the enemy team. Is respawning. It looks like that outpost is back up again. Hold on. Whoa, that's a weird little trick there. Looks like the texture was... Did that outpost never go down? It must have gone down. The Axis dude was right on point there. Anyways, new Recon Vic coming in. Not gonna last for long though, as Conrad takes that out instantly. Yikes. Recon getting a little ballsy. A little ballsy there. Not too sure what he was doing. Not wanting to commit to that one. Actually, never mind. Opposite, committing full send to that one instead of doing some reconnaissance on the backside. Bombing run does come down though. Ooh, not too sure who that's from. Let's check the map real quick to see. That is going to be a defensive bombing run. Supplies also dropping here. Going to be dropping from the Allied side. Honestly, can't say that bombing run did more good than harm there. Taking out a lot of the defenders as well. Second tank pulling up here for the allies. Gonna be reinforcing on the garrison. 76 again seems to be the flavor of the match so far. Apologies to the chat. That's John Seal, man, not John Cena. Maybe I'm thinking of like John Cena or something. I don't know. Yeah, no, just a really odd fight. 50% cap. STURM Elite by no means out of this one, but they are getting pushed hard right now, and 501 is trying to expand this defensive perimeter on the point here, so they can take it. All they need though is the members that are not on point to respawn on that backwards Gary and get on point. Fortis leader is nasty with that SMG. Fabio is going to be trying to push down this trench here. He's slow crawling it. Oh, and Fabio loses that gunfight. Wow. Fabio was in a really good position to win that one, but he ends up losing that. Ooh, some armor going down here from 501. It looks like a SEVH tank got a nasty peek onto him. Trying to maybe see which tank this was. How far away was it? Oh, not seeing any armor. Oh, there we go. That's going to be possibly a Panther. Yeah, 501 does take the point, and they are poised to take the critical sector now. One man camping, only David. Soon to be more. Maybe do we see an airhead on point? Ballsy little play here from BST2. Immediately after a few bodies do come back, though, that cap is nullified. Be interesting to see. Okay, it's gonna be supplies here from the defenders. Yeah, 501 goes up 4-1. Nice play there from the 501 team. Now they've already made half cap progress. Where are those bodies coming in from that are causing this? It's just sector right now. Looks like John Ceo man with David are enough to cause this cap progress. And if I'm SEVH, there we go. This should neutralize that full spawn wave coming on the backside. Should neutralize the cap here. Yes, and it's going back down immediately. Look at all this. If I was a machine gunner here, David, I'd be having a field day. Bombing run right now would be absolutely deadly. This is crazy. I don't think I've seen so many people running in a trench for a very long time. Now, we just saw a recon plane come over the top here. Bombing run onto point right now would be so deadly. If I'm David, I'm watching the stairs, getting ready to defend the first floor of this building. David goes down immediately. Bizarre taking him out, and it is a flood of blue bodies onto this point. Interesting enough, if there was an airhead, I think early, like a preempted airhead, you know, this game could have been over already. A lot of tanks coming out from SEVH. You can see stuck vehicle truck there. Got a Panther on the backside. I think that was the Panther that possibly took out the 76 a little earlier. And that's not the easy thing to do from the front, so kudos to them. Uh-oh. Oh, shot from the right side. Going to take out the Panther. 76. Second 76 is joining the party right now. Gonna take out another supply truck. Scanning. Should see there the Tiger goes down. Wow, just one tapping everything. Rotating to try and find the supply truck on the backside there. Should see it. Yeah. Boom. And just like that, 2 supply trucks, 2 tanks go down. That's a really nice spot from that 76 there. Just absolutely nailing everything he can see. Supplies do come into point for the allies. Not too sure where those landed. I don't know if Hellfish is on them right now, possibly getting a garrison up. I mean, that garrison will be overrun pretty quick, I think. Regardless, so Hellfish, hopefully he has a OP up, because pushing this close into point, that OP, if he places it now, is going to get overrun real fast. Sneaky play here from Hellfish of BST2. One with the bush. Just, taking some shots though. Oh, that was David. David, who are you shooting at? Possibly Skyline? I don't know if Hellfish is wondering where the resistance is, where the defense is, but it's not here. An OP up on point would be nice. They essentially control the strong point now, them being the allies. Rex is going to drop Skyline there. And there we go. Right as that happens, we're going to have some more cap progress. Now, I'd love to see a big respawn. Big respawn here from the defenders. This Hellfish is poised to get a lot of kills. SEVH is not in a good spot right now. Completely off point. Unable to really challenge this defense here as the cap continues on from BST2 501. Not too sure where the majority of SEVH is. They might be fighting on a different flank. Let's check the map quickly before this respawn wave comes in. Okay, Golf Squad is way out of position. They stayed on town center essentially the whole match. They needed to be on at least pressuring Mount Holly. Like a give up with an airhead at the back would be better at this point. This defensive line is not working, especially because it's open in the middle. Respawn does come in here, and a few members are making their way back. But I think Rico and David are wise to this spawn position and immediately suppress any member of SEVH that try to spawn in over here. And that garrison should be spotted out. Ooh, and we'll see in a second here if that garrison did go down. Berlin gonna be the last one alive, and it looks like that Gary is down. Oh no, it's on the backside. Or is that, no, that's just an outpost. So yeah, Gary goes down, outpost on the backside there. Trouble for SEVH. Do they go for an airhead? I mean, they do have a decent presence on the strong point, but I would not be comfortable if I was SEVH commander right now. Panther is hiding on point, just trying to suppress and support the defense here. However, Rico, unless he doesn't have a rocket left, he must not have a rocket. Does have a gun though, able to take out one. Nuku. Gonna drop him in turn. Yeah, SEVH holding on kind of by the skin of their teeth. They're gonna have to replace the garrison they lost earlier. But the defense is not looking too strong here. Very, very shaky defensive line from SEVH. They do manage with redeploys and to clear the members of BST2 off point, but honestly, more a wasted opportunity from BST2 to close out this game. I mean, they had squad leaders near point. They should have been getting outposts down, maybe in the trench here with supplies for a garrison. At one point, there was no members of SEVH near the point. They could have had at least 1 or 2 spawn waves in from a Gary. We are seeing though what kind of we typically do see from 501 though is a slow push off the last point. Now that works sometimes. Oh my gosh, as a body goes absolutely flying. That works sometimes, but I mean, teams can exploit it by doing things like just flanking you straight up. Now finally, that Golf Squad from the Axis has decided to show up to this game. And they're in a pretty decent position. I'd be asking for an airhead, possibly supplies, maybe both, like an airhead and supplies. Gato Mia gonna spot out the garrison on the backside and run and take it out. But yeah, airhead plus supplies on the attack here would really send a message that SEVH is meaning business, right? Now there is a second garrison on this front side over here, John CO. Apologies for the earlier mess up. I'd love to see an airhead, like, I don't know, somewhere behind here, like right here, if you can. I'm not too sure if you can, but right there would be cool. Just to kind of bait off this attack. Now they know about the Gary. Gato Mia should take this Gary down. Or is he just going to camp behind it? I don't think Sergio can see. Yeah, there it goes. Gato. Ooh. STG 44 comes out on top, and Gato does get the Gary, so nice play from him. Still another Gary on point though, so a lot to contest with here from the SEVH squad, and you know what? They do lose their squad lead. That's unfortunate. I would have loved to see the squad lead maybe make a wider flank and make advantage, or make an advantage for himself by coming around the backside, and getting something off supplies maybe back here. Not going to happen, unfortunately, though. And yeah, we can see that long push starting to pay off here from BST2 501. They've pushed all the way from their point, and they're looking to make a 5-0 out of this game. New Garrison does go down on the defense here from SEVH. Going to be on point, and now SEVH really needs to focus on getting some combat with here. They can't stay forever on point like this. One bombing run, they're going to be goners off point, so they need to really get in high gear here, clear off the members of 501 off point, and look to push out and take control of the flanks, the flanking canals, the flanking buildings, because a defense is not sustainable if you're only on the hard cap. You'll get surrounded, you'll get crushed, you'll get bombed once, and then the enemy will rush you and take you out. Apologies for that. Just had to go grab a breath mint there. I'm so used to queuing push to talk that I queue it way too often. My VoIP is disabled though, so don't think anything can go through even if I DQ it. Yeah, defense here coming out from SEVH, really compact on point. You can see BST2 501 on the north side, sorry, the southwest side here. They have taken the previous position of the SEVH Gary and are looking to push through. It's hard down these canals though, like things like bombing runs are going to be necessary to soften up the point a bit. Now we did comment earlier about ooh, a little tank fight going on here. Looks like all the way at the back there is a panther or a tiger, something. Oh, it is a tiger. That's blind firing to the max. There's no way. They must have a peek onto it and they're getting related information from somebody else, like Shroznik or Shift here, to fire up and down, side to side. That's 76. Yeah, you can see the spots coming out. Nice little indirect fire here from the tiger, but it's not going to be super effective. You see two tanks coming out, two 76s from the allies, and like we said earlier, the surround is on. The surround is on in full effect here. SEVH is on an island on point. You got squads attacking from 3 angles. The Gary does go down there. Nice shot from one of the 76s onto that Gary. That is going to be trouble. There's actually a 3rd tank on point. What? A 3rd 76 on point, and then a 75 and another 76 pushing. Just absolute chaos here on point for SEVH. 3 tanks though. Insane number of tanks here from BST2 501. Absolutely looking to end this game quicker than not. And as you can see, cap progress already being made, 20-30% in onto point. This Sherman does not care. He's gonna drive everywhere and anywhere where he can find a kill. Ooh, a lot of kills up for grabs here in the open. Just look to the right. There we go. Let the bodies hit the floor. Missing with his shots there, 76. Seems to be tracking those infantry targets decently. I'm calling a defensive airhead in a bombing run right now if I'm SEVH though. The commander does just go down though. Oh no! The commander's down and there's cap progress being made, so he's got a bombing run down. No defensive airhead that I can see. Is that going to be an attacking airhead going out? No, that's just going to be defensive supplies there for the allies. So bombing run does come out, but no airhead for a close spawn on point to follow up. That might be all she wrote here. The only garrison is getting pushed hard by a 76. It's going to stay up for only a little bit of time. Bombing run comes in, honestly misses everybody on point. It's not super effective, and that's going to end the game 5-0 here for BST2 501. The bombing run completely misses the point and all the allies on it, as BST2 501 looks to end this one 5-0. Aren't the bodies? Tiger 1's ordered in, not gonna be enough. As soon as some of these bodies drop here on point, it's gonna go 5-0 here for BST2. Hold the phone. Slowly is being challenged slowly. Not over yet. Almost though. About 80-90%. Yeah, and as bodies drop onto point, this one's gonna be going. The ooh, Endicott with 2. Can you get 3 before the end? No. Gonna end 5-0 here for BST2 501 ES out of Spain, taking it versus STURM Elite from Germany. 5-0. Nice game, nice play there. Oh, you just have to wonder, what if they could have got an airhead up? I mean, they had a squad attacking, it took too long to rotate. Anyways, we'll discuss that more with the post-game show here in just a minute after this trailer.
Oh my god! Look at all the bodies! Oh, it didn't work! Let's go! 38's going for a cap race!
Welcome back, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. 5-0 for the BST2 501 ES, the Spaniard team, taking that one. Maximum points. That's going to put them on to 18 points in the table now, with STURM Elite staying at 3. Yeah, the first place spot gets further out of hand for the line here as we go further into the season. Yeah, what can you say about that? I think that was a game of missed opportunities there. STURM Elite doing very well off the get-go to neutralize that cap progress, but the flanking maneuver and the aggressiveness from BST2 501 was what won that 3-2 for them on the get-go. After that, you know, we didn't see a defense in depth. We saw a very compact defense on both points from STURM Elite. They didn't have you know, tanks in position or infantry in position to cover those outward approaches, and BST2 501 was able to easily get bodies on point with just an outpost and fight off the defensive rather easily before setting up a garrison and kind of finalizing that attack. We did see though one attacking squad from STURM Elite stay way too long at town center. I think this was when it was already 4-1 and they were trying to cap back Mount Halay. we saw a squad running past town center, and there's just no need for that. You need to. This is when we talk about squad switching, squad rotations. This is what we mean. Instead of having a whole squad doing something, have the squad leader do it. Have the squad leader alone go and get his outpost set up or garrison set up. That way you can have those people either on the defense or on another flank of the attack instead of sending a whole squad on a flanking maneuver together. There's no reason because you can just rotate people into the squad and then respawn on an outpost, right? So would love to see some more of that there. I feel like both teams really didn't use their airheads well. We saw BST2 501 airhead about 4 or 5 minutes too early onto the attack onto Mount Halais when they could have just saved it and waited. If they had waited 4 or 5 minutes, they had infantry on point and a tank. And if they had dropped that airhead behind that infantry and a tank, that spawn would have instantly taken the point. Like, I feel like they not only did that on Mount Halais, but also on the Maison, the last point. They got 4 or 5 members on point. There's nobody from the other team there. They don't use the airhead immediately to get a spawn wave or two in. So I feel like that if BST2 wants to challenge for the lead or wants to win this league, they're going to need to capitalize on some of those plays because you can't give those or opportunities up against better teams. They'll just you'll lose on pressure somewhere else, right? And if you're going to drop an airhead and use it as a decoy, at least put it on the other side of the point from where you're attacking from, so it baits players off to it. It draws them away, right? And instead, we just kind of had an airhead in the middle of a point that was neither there nor here nor there. So from BST2, they got to do better next time. I don't think they're coming away from this game feeling too great about themselves, especially with the missed opportunities. I mean, the rollout was really nice. The attack on the midpoint was the most important thing. It is the most important thing in the game, and it was the most important thing today for them. But the second and third cap to get that 5-0, I mean, it wasn't great. A lot can be done. I mean, props to the squad leads who got onto point and secured the strong point, but the bombing run needs to come in sooner. The airhead needs to come in sooner. I mean, when we saw that massive redeploy onto Maison from SEVH with the whole team essentially redeploying off point, off the strong point, 4 or 5 members of 501 on point. A bombing run right there with an airhead wins the game. It's over. Just like at Halais, instead of putting that airhead a couple minutes early with no support, put that behind your infantry who are essentially already fighting 50-50 fight for the point. Didn't show it with the cap progress, but they were killing on point 2, 3 to 1. Why not just drop an airhead behind your team there in advance, like quickly? If they did that, they would have won this game maybe 20, 30 minutes earlier. In terms of STURM Elite, I mean, what can you say? They did well in that first point, but they're just not rotating fast enough. They need to be faster on their rotations. They need to start utilizing rotating squads. And in their defensive squad, especially on a point like Mount Halais, they were very compact and behind the point onto their side. They need to push out 1 or 2 guys, have the garrison, have your outpost further up, and then have your infantry even further. Cover those hedgerows. There's only 2 or 3 ways into point, and you got to cover those, or else BST2 501 is just going to run up to point behind, So that's about pretty much all I can think about saying about that one. What do you guys think about the game? Put your comments in the Now, apologies, that was a misclick. I was trying to get somewhere else on my little thing. Yeah, I was saying, put your comments in the chat. What do you guys think about the game? What do you think either team could have done better or worse? And what do you think the teams have to improve on to be competitive? I mean, STURM Elite's still in this one for the playoff hunt. 20th PZG did get 2 points. And if STURM Elite did win this one 5-0, they'd be tied. But there's other games coming up. They have games against 20th. They have games against HL Tango. And those teams also have to play the best teams in the league. So there's going to be 1 or 2 games here where it's not just going to be for 3 points. It's going to be for 6 points because both of them are playing, right? Especially STURM Elite versus Tango. That's going to be a huge one. Now, week 1, Tango did forfeit. Sorry, not Tango. 20 PZG Exodus did forfeit that game. They had a little issue, and they had some roster issues, so they had to forfeit. But when they meet again, I mean, it's going to be worth 6 points. It's not only going to be worth the three there for them. Coming up, I mean, we don't have any more games this week. Coming up next week, though, we have a whole new set of games for you guys to enjoy. Unfortunately, the one of the games this week had to be forfeited. That was the 20th PZG Exodus and Tango game. Uh, Hopefully, Tango, we can see you guys next week. But I mean, they have a lot of work to do. Mathematically, Tango, you're still in it, but like just look at some of these replays. Look at some of these games. Look at some of the mistakes the teams are making, and you can really easily correct them and come back with a game plan that might put some pressure, right? I mean, if we're looking at BST2 501, they didn't look, super confident on the attack or defense. Um, it's they kind of got caught out. They did what we said they would do. After that initial attack failed, when they didn't follow up with an airhead or supplies, they just kind of slow push, and which works for them. But like we said, they against the better teams, it's not going to work. So if they can nail down that fast attack with that hit squad that makes it on a point and clears out the midpoint, they'll be able to really challenge the line. They'll be able to sit toe to toe with 1/16 with that style of gameplay. So I understand they fall back to what is comfortable to them, but if they want to evolve and adapt and maybe challenge some of the better teams in this league, they're going to need to adapt their players, their not players, their play style a little bit for that. Anywho, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us for the cast today. I know it was a little delayed, and I apologize for that. And honestly, I will work very hard in the midweek to make sure that stuff doesn't happen again. And those who are responsible for doing the different things are held accountable, because it's not appropriate to the teams or to the viewers to be delayed 20, 30 minutes like that. So a heartfelt apology from me, and I'll guarantee to you guys that I'll find out what the issue was there, and we'll solve it for next week, so we can have another awesome week of the HPL. Coming close to playoffs, though, so stay tuned. It is going to get down to the wire for some of these teams here. I'll leave you guys with some music and the scores from this week. Of course, BST2 501 taking it 5-0 off of STURM Elite for the last game of Week 11, Carentan on the HPL. Hope you guys have a good one, and we'll see you next week.